The moon hung low over the dense forest, its silver glow filtering through the tall pines, casting elongated shadows that danced with the night wind. Kira's heart thudded painfully in her chest as she stepped into the clearing, the soft crunch of fallen leaves underfoot sounding impossibly loud. She had been told this night would come, the night of the Vulpine Rite, but knowing it was inevitable did nothing to steady her trembling limbs. The Vulpine Law was ancient, older than the forest itself, older than the humans who now wandered the edges of the wilderness. It demanded obedience, unwavering and absolute, especially when a fox-blooded girl like Kira reached the age of 17. Tonight, she would undergo the ritual. She would undress before the moon court, shedding all human pretense, exposing herself to the eyes of the pack to claim her place among them. Her golden-tinged fur, subtle along her arms and collarbone, prickled under her skin, a constant reminder of her dual heritage. The Vulpine elders, their eyes glinting like molten amber, awaited her at the center of the circle. Their voices, deep and resonant, hummed low chants that seemed to vibrate through her bones. "Do not falter, Kira," one whispered, the words both an admonition and a blessing. "The law chooses no exceptions." She swallowed hard, the ritual's gravity pressing down on her. Yet her gaze shifted involuntarily to the perimeter of the clearing, where she had glimpsed him, the human who had wandered too far into the woods, the one who always seemed to stumble into the impossible. Elias. He stood frozen among the trees, the moonlight catching in his dark hair, eyes wide and unervingly steady. How he had come to witness this, she could not say. Perhaps fate had twisted the threads tonight, drawing him into the forbidden. And yet, even through her fear, she felt a spark of defiance, a single thought that set her trembling body alight. One look from him, and perhaps nothing else would matter. The elders began the chant again, voices rising, a tidal wave of power pressing in. Kira's hands shook violently as she loosened the ties of her ceremonial robe. Every heartbeat seemed to echo through the clearing, loud enough for the trees themselves to hear. Slowly, reluctantly, she let the garment slip from her shoulders, revealing the faint glimmer of fox gold along her skin. The law demanded she continue, demanded that she bow completely to the moon court, that she strip away even the smallest shred of human modesty. Her fur-pricked body was vulnerable, exposed to the merciless scrutiny of the pack. The wind chilled her, and the chanting swelled like a living thing. And then, Elias stepped forward. The sound of a human foot on the forest floor was nearly inaudible over the ritual's cadence, yet it pierced her focus like a dagger. She froze, chest rising and falling in erratic rhythm. The elders' chant faltered, their eyes narrowing as they tracked the human interloper. "You cannot be here," one elder hissed, amber eyes flashing with fury. Elias's gaze did not waver. He had no weapons, no trickery, only a steady, unflinching look that seemed to cut through the very fabric of the ritual. "I can see her," he said softly but firmly. "And I won't look away." A ripple ran through the moon court. No human had ever dared interrupt a rite. No human had ever stopped the law. Kira's heart seized in her chest as she realized the impossible. For the first time, someone human had defied the unyielding ancient power of the Vulpine elders, and survived. "Step back, human," another elder growled, claws flexing. The pack circled tighter, the tension so thick it could be sliced with a knife. But Elias did not move. He reached out one hand not to touch her, but to bridge the impossible distance between them. "Look at her," he said. "She's more than the law. She's herself." The words struck deeper than any blade. Kira's shaking slowed, her spine straightened, and for the first time, she felt a flicker of agency. The ritual's weight had been suffocating, but his eyes, the honesty in them, made it possible to breathe. The elders hissed, voices raising in fury, but a new sound joined the chant, a low, questioning murmur, almost hesitant, as if some among the pack sensed the fragility of their own traditions. Kira felt it too, a tremor of doubt threading through the centuries-old power surrounding her. With trembling hands, she paused mid-undress. Her eyes locked with Elias's, and the world contracted to a single moment, a human's steady gaze against the unyielding grip of the moon court. And then, in that instant, something unimaginable happened. The elders stopped. One by one, the chanting fell silent, leaving only the whisper of leaves in the wind. The law was supposed to be absolute, yet here in the moonlit clearing it bent, fragile as mist. Kira's robe hung half-draped over her shoulders, her body still vulnerable, yet her spirit felt invincible. "You see her," the chief elder murmured, voice quivering. "And you honor her." Elias's hand rested lightly on a tree trunk, his eyes never leaving hers. "I honor who she chooses to be," he said. A silence spread long and thick, before the elder nodded slowly. "Then let the rite end, not with submission but with choice." Kira's chest rose and fell with relief. The other elders exchanged cautious glances but did not argue. The moon court had been stilled by the unlikeliest force, a human's unwavering respect. Her robe fell fully back into place as the wind picked up, and Kira felt the warmth of her own power reassert itself. She had not defied the Vulpine Law in aggression or rebellion, but in something subtler, the courage to be seen fully, human and fox alike, without fear. Elias stepped closer now, and though the distance between them remained, it no longer felt insurmountable. "You don't have to be what they say," he whispered. "You can be you." Kira's lips curved into the smallest, almost imperceptible smile. She had always been torn between worlds, but tonight she realized she could exist in both, without compromise. She was neither wholly fox nor entirely human, yet fully herself. The elders, witnessing this, seemed to relax. Ancient eyes softened, tails flicked with subtle approval, and the forest itself exhaled in the quiet aftermath. The moon court had adapted, not broken, and in doing so, it had made space for something new. Choice, respect, and the courage to see another fully. Kira turned toward Elias, who mirrored her smile. "You saved me," she said, voice trembling with gratitude. "No," he replied, shaking his head gently. "You saved yourself. I just refused to look away." The clearing was still, bathed in silver light, and for the first time, the law felt less like chains and more like guidance. The ritual had not been erased, but it had been transformed, softened by the simplest, most human act, seeing and acknowledging another. And as Kira walked through the trees with her robe around her, side by side with a human who had stopped the impossible, she felt a quiet power she had never known before, the power to exist fully, without fear, in a world that demanded obedience yet still allowed choice. By Vulpine Law, she had been expected to undress and submit, but by one human look, she had claimed herself.